Hello, in this food law video we're going to be talking about CBD or cannabidiol, one of the extracts from cannabis and its application in the food industry. And gosh, it is being used widely, isn't it,
Yes.
all over the world, in everything from juices to coffees to beers to chocolate. Everywhere CBD seems to be popping up as a very popular ingredient. Maybe we should just start with a little bit more about our understanding of what CBD actually is, Katrina.
Yes, now CBD is something which is derived from cannabis, but it's not the same as cannabis. It typically has a very low level of what's known as THC, which is the active ingredient in cannabis, and there are legal requirements about that. So it is not a drug, if you like, in the normal sense, but it is being put into to foods in various descriptions and also being sold as a food supplement.
Okay, so kind of part of the reason maybe why CBD has become a little bit controversial, aside from obviously the plant that it's extracted from, is the whole concept of it potentially being a novel food.
Yes, exactly. And we've seen some recent changes there at an EU level. So the EU has come out and actually said that with the exception of a very narrowly defined sort of CBD, actually CBD is in general a novel food, and the implication of that is that it requires novel foods approval, which is not currently in place, and therefore it means that in effect, other than this narrowly defined CBD, it can't currently be used in food in the EU.
So if we just go and break that down a little bit further, what we know is that there's been an amendment to the EU Novel Food Catalogue, which of course doesn't have legal status, but does indicate that a certain type of CBD could be classed as novel food.
Yes. Yes, so what the amendment suggests is that everything apart from extractions, and it must not be a synthetic extraction, from this one particular strain, which is called cannabis sativa, that has a THC level of less than 0.2% is a novel food. So unless you fit into that very tight definition, then a novel food approval is required.
Yes, so a novel food application would be required, and we know that actually there is a novel food application currently going through. It's sitting with EFSA, the European Food Safety Authority, who are making a determination as to the safety of CBD. And it's quite interesting that we anticipated that we'd be getting the opinion end of March we were looking at, and certainly to date nothing has come out.
Yes. I mean, I imagine, given the political sensitivity of this and the general interest in some quite diverging views, that EFSA are looking at this one quite carefully, because it will set, although it won't make all CBD approved if it goes through, it will set something of a precedent as to how EFSA will deal with these things.
Of course, that does create a problem because we've currently got all these products out there with the CBD in it, and
yes,
you know, it's in the UK, the Food Standards Agency has come out and made a comment that they will try, acknowledging that CBD extract is a novel food, and saying that they will try to deal with compliance in a proportionate manner. So they will find a proportionate way forward.
Yes.
But practically how they're going to achieve that, I think, remains to be seen. And we know there are a number of lobby groups that have been in touch with the FSA and are sort of writing sort of pretty strongly worded letters in terms of action that could be taken for products that are out there on the market currently that contain CBD and are now being misclassified, as they would see it, as a novel food.
Yeah. No, exactly. So it's definitely one we're going to have to watch, see how the FSA deals with it, see how the lobbying groups react, and also just the industry and the market, how they respond to all of this.
I think it's interesting as well that sort of similar discussions are happening, obviously in other member states, but also across the pond in America, where I think it was only at the end of May that the FDA held an open hearing with all sides of the debate coming forward and putting forward views in relation to the safety and the regulation of CBD.
Yes.
And you know, there really is no kind of conclusion from that, other than the fact that this is an area that desperately needs some clear guidance and some rules put in place.
Yes. Yes, and I think in a way the fact that you're having the EU issues mirrored in the US is an indication of the fact that we don't currently have a received, accepted wisdom on the safety of this product, which is effectively part of the issue.
Which also means the EFSA opinion will be even more important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, going forward, it's going to be very interesting to see how these products develop, because, I mean, there are products that clearly do not require a novel foods application, so can continue to be sold, but it's quite challenging with those kind of products what can actually be said about them, because obviously, like all foods, you cannot make medical claims about the properties of CBD. There are also currently no approved health claims, so communicating to the public who, you know, are not necessarily that familiar with CBD as to what that product is for is quite a minefield from a labelling perspective and an advertising one as well.
Yes, I can see that. I mean, you're down to trying to make factual statements,
yes,
or maybe trying to slot it under a kind of our old favourite that we've talked about previously, the kind of overarching claim of natural. You know, could you say,
yes,
to try and imply that there are some benefits from it in that way. As you say, as something we need to watch, and certainly we'll keep you updated as things develop in this video series. Thanks very much.